Welcome to Game of Life 411. Today I'm going to go over one of my favorite topics, which is personalized license plates, also known as vanity plates. I got a new one here from my Lotus Emira. And while I'm bringing it down off the list to change the plates, I'm going to give you an opportunity to try and figure out what this new plate means. And I'll give you a hint. It has a double entendre. So try and figure it out. And if you know, post everything in the comments, and I'll let you know when we're done if you got it right. So everybody's always intrigued by my single post lift. So I thought I'd go ahead and bring it down on the lift and do it from here. So it's pretty easy.
I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible. So please subscribe to my channels, join my Facebook groups, and visit my websites for additional resources. Whether you're young or old or somewhere in between, I'd like to help you win at the game of life by sharing the things that worked for my family and helping you avoid the things that didn't. We all have valuable knowledge and experience to share, and I'm doing this as my nonprofit retirement hobby. Please share my content with other people you care about and enjoy the video.
Okay, and I'm just going to bring it down to a convenient height that I can work from. So here I'll reveal this beautiful car, and you can see my old plate. I'll include some other plates in this video, so you can see some of the other plates. I've been getting personalized plates for, I don't know, 20, 25 years. In North Carolina, the fees that you pay for personalized plates go to a highway beautification program, so they plant huge swaths of wildflowers and things along the sides of the highways. So I always thought that was a good cause, so I like to support that. So I guess I should explain why this car has Lotus number 2 on it, and the answer is because there's Lotus number 1. When I got the Emira, I'd already had the lease for about 10 years, and I was toying with all kinds of different license plates and things like that, and I just thought, well, for the beginning, I'll just call it Lotus number 1, Lotus number 2. I am Vader. And I think the reason I picked it is because this car, I'll take off the cover in just a minute, I think it looks just like Darth Vader's helmet. And it makes funny sounds like Darth Vader's life support systems do.
Looks like I wasn't the only person to make the connection between the Alfa Romeo 4C and Star Wars. When I was looking for a new personalized plate for my Alfa Romeo 4C, I actually posted some polls on the various forums. And, a lot of people were against putting the name of the car on the Alfa Romeo 4C, which I thought was kind of odd because it doesn't have anywhere on the car that it is an Alfa Romeo or that it is a 4C. So, you have the emblems, but that's really kind of subtle. So unless you're familiar with that mark, you might not know that it's an Alfa Romeo, and you definitely probably wouldn't know it's a 4C. So I didn't have a problem having the name of the car as the license plate, and I chose it, as you can see. And here's why.
So I just got back from getting my state inspection, and the guy at the shop said, "So how do you like that Lotus?" I guess I can't be too upset because at least that's a compliment, not an insult.
With these small little sports cars, I always find it fun to park them next to other cars that people typically think of as being very small, like this Mini Cooper. And here's my Alfa Romeo next to the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. And you might be surprised to learn that there are actually quite a few similarities in their construction and things like that. I actually have a whole nother video about this photo shoot and a comparison of the two. Owning the Alfa Romeo 4C for a couple of years was a lot of fun, and we used it for a lot of important life events, including my daughter used it as her getaway car after getting married. Here are my two tiny babies side by side with a couple of their personalized plates. And here's a plate that I saw in traffic that I just thought was really cool. And then this is my overall favorite license plate. I just love the play on words. Vlad the Impala. And that's, of course, a reference to Vlad the Impaler, aka Dracula. I love license plates that have a clever play on words, tying in the vehicle and other things. So my wife drives a Honda Odyssey van, and one year I put on there a personalized plate that said Homers. I'm sure you can figure out what that's referring to. Achtung means attention. I thought that was a good Germanic license plate for my Germanic BMW convertible. And when I briefly owned a Tesla Model S, I got the license plate Nikola to tie back to its namesake, Nikola Tesla. I've also done all kinds of other goofy things, like in our house, I got a license plate with each of our kids' names on it, and then we posted that on their bedroom doors. I thought that was just kind of fun. So I actually drove around for a year with each of my kids' names as my license plate. And we got a beach house a few years ago, and the name of the beach house is Making Memories. So I actually had two different license plates in order to get this combo. So as you can see, this does take a bit of pre-planning, and you have to be a little bit patient and do it over a period of years if you want to do some of these fun things. But I think it's worth it. It's kind of cool. I got this plate after I got my total hip replacement because I am technically a cyborg now.
Okay, so why rice and beans? So it's kind of, I think it's kind of clever. Anyhow, so Japanese cars, especially sports cars, fast ones, have been known as rice rockets. I'm not going to speak to the politics and other aspects of that term, but that is a thing. They've been known as rice rockets, and of course, this has a Toyota engine in it, so it's a Japanese engine and drivetrain in this car. And then beans, it turns out that baked beans are consumed by the British in quantities much greater than anywhere else in the rest of the world. And so I thought, in homage to the fact that it's a British car, beans. Now, the double entendre has to do with Dave Ramsey. And if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey, he always talks about something called the Dave car. And most of his callers think of the Dave car as the hoopty jalopy car that they have to drive around because they can't afford anything else while they're trying to save and get out of debt and things like that. But I've heard Dave say on more than one occasion, he's like, no, what I really want you to call your Dave car is once you paid off debt, once you built some wealth and you buy a really nice car, that's the car I want you to call your Dave car. And so I've actually been to Dave Ramsey's offices. We did a debt-free scream with him, and I had a license plate that said my Dave car on my Lotus Elise at that time. So that is the double meaning for this license plate. I hope you like it, and I hope you'll share in the comments your favorite personalized license plate. I'm going to go ahead and cover the car again and then raise it back up on the lift because we're in October here in North Carolina, and this is absolutely the best weather for me to drive in the Lotus Elise. And as I've gotten older, and it gets harder to get in and out of that car, I've decided that my favorite way to drive it is topless because it's actually easier to get in and out. So the spring and the fall are the times when I enjoy it the most. The weather right now is perfect. The next week's forecast is like highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s or 60s. So you can't get much nicer than that. And now I'd like to share with you some of my other vanity plates. So hope you enjoy. So if we're just continuing looking in the garage here, simplify, then add lightness. Visit my channel, Game of Life 411, shorthand handle @life411. You can see that on the Elise, I also have a new plate, and I kind of thought that one was cute. Hope you approve. And if we go up here in the garage, you can see that there's some other plates up on the fridge here. And if we actually go into the house, you'll see the door to my office has a license plate on it. And then I've got some up on my wall here in the office itself. I've got many, many more that are not on display, but these are some of the choice ones. So you can see on the left, the third one down, debt-free. That was the one actually we had when we went to see Dave Ramsey. And then two below that, you've got my Dave car. That was on the Elise for a year. Over on the far right, you've got some other stuff. The top row, those are my motorcycle license plates. I had a 1991 BMW K75 Flying Brick. Okay, so here, let me raise this car up on the lift. And by the way, if you have any questions about the lift, the single post lift, it's actually pretty unique. And I've got a couple of videos about how we installed it and all the details about it, the cost, etc. When we got the lift, I was very concerned with how to position it because we have a sort of a tight space in a small garage, and my wife's van actually parks under here. So I wanted to make sure that no matter what car I might get in the future, that the lift would accommodate it. So my son, who's a mechanical engineer, actually used some 3D modeling software to model out everything. He built this lift in his 3D software, and you could actually lift it and lower it, and then he modeled out at least 3 different cars. I think one was a Porsche Cayman, one was the Lotus Elise, and then I think he did a Corvette C8. it was very cool to be able to map that out. And depending on what car I put on this lift, for example, if it's a C8 Corvette, that's a very long car. And the way it fits, it actually, the nose of it is within like an inch or two of the front wall of the garage. So it's all very snug and tight. So at any rate, if you have any questions about this lift, again, feel free to post in the comments or check out the other 2 videos that I have about the lift's design and operation. So here we go. Those clicks you hear are the locks. So if I were to relieve the air pressure or the hydraulic pressure at this point, it would actually rest on the most recent lock, right? And so I'm going to take it all the way up to the top and then release a little bit of the hydraulic pressure so it'll rest on the topmost lock. And that gives us just enough space so that my wife's van can pull in under the lift without any risk of it hitting the bottom of the lift. Now I actually have a little camera here that is set up on the ceiling so that I can look, because on my ceiling of this garage there are some obstacles. There's a steel beam, there's some ductwork, things like that. And so by using this little baby monitor, I can see up top and make sure that I've got the car positioned far enough forward on the lift that it's not going to hit any of those obstacles. And I know I do because it was already up there, but I just wanted to share that with you. Okay. So now you can see it's at the top, and I just relieve a little bit of pressure. Okay, and now it's resting on that topmost block. While we're at this, I thought I might as well show you how my wife's van fits under this lift. It's actually pretty good. And also you'll notice there's a little bit of a rubber ramp here at the base of the lift. The foot of the lift has a pretty steep angle, and it can be hard to get over that, especially if it's raining and the wheels are wet or if you are going really slowly. So that ramp, I did quite a bit of research and found that thing is sort of a threshold ramp for handicapped folks, for wheelchairs and things like that. It works perfect in this situation, and it just makes it a nice gradual angle so that you can easily drive up that. So let's take a look. There you go. Fit great, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I'm going to assume that you're a big fan of vanity plates or personalized plates. So I'd love it if in the comments you would just share with me what some of your favorite vanity plates have been or what things you're thinking about for your next ride. Also, any help you can provide in sharing my content with others is always greatly appreciated. It's that word of mouth that really helps build the channel. So like, subscribe, comment on my videos, share with others. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and whatever you're driving, have a blast driving it.
It's your world and I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut to move your butt.
Please subscribe now. You know you want to. And why not go nuts and set notifications on so you'll be notified every time I put out new content.